to everyone. Are you still having some energy here? Way! That's good. And if we say, yeah! Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Fantastic. It's a yeah. We're about 4 o'clock, so digestion is over. We're ready to go again and discover innovations at Sanofi's booth. We're very happy to have you here on our booth. We have plenty of interesting AI-powered technologies that are really improving people's lives. So let's talk about how we are actually dealing with augmented clinical trials with AI indeed. And let's welcome our guest speakers from Sanofi, Thomas Klabunde and Firas Abdessalem. Welcome to the stage, and thank you for joining us both. One from Germany, one from France. So thank you very much for being with us. It shows how international actually you are. We had people from Boston, we have people from the other side of the States, we have people from Europe. Let's start with a first question about the ambition of Sanofi, actually regarding digital, Firas. What are we talking about?
Indeed. So the ambition of Sanofi is to put digital at the heart of its ambition to be the leading pharma company leveraging AI at scale. And the important piece here is the at scale, because it's the most complex aspect, but also it's the most valuable and the piece that has the most impact. And the way we're planning to do this is by leveraging AI in every step of the R&D cycle. And the aim there is to increase our probability of success, meaning get more molecules, more studies across the finish line, and bring the medicines to the patients faster. And that's the ultimate goal.
A great ambition. Let's talk about how we are creating, what's involved in creating a drug, Thomas.
Yeah, so you can see behind me, discovering a new drug is really a complex and long process. So I don't want to go into all the detail here, but you can see at the very beginning we have something that's called drug discovery. Maybe some of you have asked yourself already, okay, how do you get a starting point for a novel drug that in the end can help patients? So actually what we do is, we have computational modeling, we have high throughput screening to really identify a promising starting point. And the next thing is then that we actually do several cycles of optimization that's accompanied by laboratory testing and also in the end by testing in preclinical animal models. And if this is successful and encouraging, then we move the drug candidate into clinical trials, into patients. And also this has different phases. I will speak to that later. But I also want to say that if then the trial results are positive, then we hope for getting approval by regulatory authorities, which is in the US, the FDA, the Food Drug Administration, and in Europe, it's the European Medicine Agencies.
So let's talk about the different steps of clinical trials. What's the overall process?
Yeah, so as you can imagine, clinical trials are regulated and are actually, there are 3 different phases of, or actually 4 if you count phase 4 trials on top of it. And each phase is actually meant to increase the level and the degree of confidence that a drug candidate is efficacious and safe. So it starts with a phase 1 trial where we explore in a small group if a drug is safe. Then it's a phase 2 trial that's about to show that the drug actually works and also to find the right dose. Phase 3 then is already then in a larger group of patients, and typically we run it then against a standard of care. And you can imagine that we only go from A to B, phase 1, phase 2, when there's really proof that there's value. And this is a it's a process that is definitely coordinated with regulatory agencies.
And tell us, Firas, why is Sanofi investing also in AI, obviously, concerning clinical trials?
Yeah, well, great question. I think when you look around on the Sanofi booths and from previous talks as well, we can clearly see that AI is not just changing the pharma industry, it's completely transforming it. So at Sanofi, we believe that with AI across the R&D life cycle, we can reduce the development cycle time by at least 2 years. And we do plan to do that through not just incremental change, but a drastic and total shift in the ways of working, in the way we do science, and that will clearly impact the way we bring hope to patients that are waiting for therapeutic solutions.
Let's elaborate a little bit with some concrete examples that you can share.
Great. So as you may know, the development cycle time stays a bit burdened with overwhelming complexity, whether it's millions of data points, thousands of manual steps, lots of risk points for delay. And I think AI can spark a lot of change across the system, from the intelligent study design in the beginning to patient recruitment, to data capture, to advanced algorithms for safety and efficacy calculation. And another exciting aspect is that AI can also transform the experience for patients and for investigators, who are our key partners for clinical trials. And we are doing that at every step by giving them patient applications, reducing their burden when they participate in clinical trial through digital biomarkers, through decentralized trials and home nursing and telemedicine. So we are trying to use technology and AI at every step of the way to also make trials more accessible and also more inclusive to more patients.
And tell us a little bit, how does AI fit into this long and complex value chain?
Of course. So when you look at the development cycle, AI can bring lots of acceleration from the study design, where we can create more optimized trials, the data capture, where we can have more data quality checks, automated mappings, code generation for analytics, and also streamlined regulatory submission. And throughout the sum of these automations, the sum of these augmentations, can help us move much faster and bring medicines much faster to the patients.
You mentioned going faster, accelerating the process. How are you planning to do that using AI?
Yeah. So, are we in the same? Yeah. So we're moving more and more on the data aspects. Yeah. On the data. So the data is one of the key aspects that we're trying to accelerate throughout the process. So one is optimizing the design so that we avoid any downstream complications, delays, amendments, and then accelerating the data capture, and then every transformation and analysis up until the regular submission that we make to the authorities.
And let's discover actually the first step concerning digital patient twins. Let's watch the video.
In medicine, breakthroughs often feel like they take forever. But the future might be closer than we think. Imagine being able to turn years of data into actionable insights to accelerate life-saving treatments. This is the promise of digital patient twins, a groundbreaking innovation that could completely revolutionize clinical trials. Digital patient twins are virtual representations of patients based on advanced computational models that describe human physiology and disease, along with a drug's mechanism of action. Digital patient twins allow us to boost probability of success and enhance trial designs by identifying high-potential drug candidates, optimizing dosing strategies, and reducing patient sample size. This is especially vital for rare diseases, where patient populations are inherently small and geographically dispersed, as well as pediatric studies with specific ethical considerations and the challenge of recruiting young patients. Digital patient twins offer a non-invasive method to generate synthetic control data, explore treatment responses across different age groups and developmental stages, reducing the reliance on real-world participants and speeding up transition between trial phases. For example, the disease modeling team's work on lunsekimig in asthma accelerated the program by 1 year, skipping phase 2A to move directly from phase 1B to phase 2B. We have developed a proof of concept of digital patient twin on 2 key indications: asthma and Pompe disease. This first iteration enables clinicians to predict disease progression and treatment responses at population and individual patient level. Our goal is to build an integrated digital twin platform that expands to all Sanofi key assets and indications to bring treatments to patients faster and pioneer the journey toward personalized medicine. With digital patient twins, we have a great opportunity to create a fully integrated in silico first R&D organization. The future is already here. Let's shape it together.
Well, very interesting concept. Let's come back to the digital twin, Thomas. Can you tell us in a few words, simple ones, what is it? Let's come back to the definition.
Yeah, so I mean, I think this is really cool stuff, and I'm very proud of this work here. So a digital patient twin is a virtual copy of a true patient. And actually, we use medical data of the patients to build a computer model that acts like a patient. And then we can explore different treatments, drug treatments, in this digital copy before trying out anything on a real patient. And it's kind of like flight engineers or airplane engineers first test their planes on computers before any plane would leave the ground.
But how are you doing that? I mean, how do you bring everything together?
Yeah, it was covered a little bit in the video, but in principle, we start with modeling the healthy, and then we add to what the disease is doing to the healthy biology. And actually, we train it then with tons of data, a lot of data from randomized clinical trials, data from real-world evidence and other data sources. And in the end, actually, it acts like a patient, and we can then plug in a specific patient and a drug treatment and can explore what the drug treatment would do to the patient. We can also do that for novel drug candidates. When we know a few things, then we can also predict what it will do to the patient.
And tell us, how does it help to accelerate the way Sanofi is actually running clinical trials?
Yeah, actually, I think the impact is threefold. First of all, the digital patient twins allow us to make smarter portfolio decisions. I mean, we can simulate clinical outcome of all the drug assets we have in the pipeline and then prioritize those which we want to advance. That's number one. Number two is that we can also run simulations in these digital patient twins to optimize clinical trial protocols. I mean, you can explore different dosing regimens, you can explore different patient subgroups. So this really increases the probability of technical success, how we call it, for our clinical trials. And last but not least, most important, the digital patient twins or simulations in these digital patient twins can also, in some cases, help to reduce the number of patients we enroll in clinical trials, especially in rare diseases. And we had one case last year where we actually submitted a novel treatment for a rare disease. It's an enzyme replacement therapy, and we use simulations in a virtual population of that disease to really supplement the submission to the FDA. And it was accepted and really avoided a risky trial in this very vulnerable patient group.
Can you just mention what is FDA, because maybe some of the people don't know that.
Sorry for that. So it's the agency in the US that's approving drugs. It stands for Food Drug Administration.
Does it mean, when you explain this patient digital twin, does it mean that it can help to reduce the animal testing?
Yeah, Christina, that's a very timely question, because I think a few weeks ago, the FDA, so again, FDA, announced to phase out animal testing requirements for at least some drugs, monoclonal antibodies, and I think some small molecules. And actually, I think currently, I mean, maybe you know that there are still animal models used to show that the drug candidate is A, efficacious, and B, safe. And I mean, here I would foresee that digital patient twins and human-based models can actually help to replace animal trials or animal testing, at least for showing that the drug is efficacious. I think we probably still need some animal model testing to show that the drug is safe, but I think also this is for the future.
Firas, back to you. There's another thing, a key challenge that you kind of mentioned earlier. It's the patient recruitment. What about
Yes.
that? Why is it so difficult to recruit patients for clinical trials?
Right. So, I mean, patient recruitment is a key challenge across the industry. Actually, less than
Come
less,
over here so
yeah,
that we can
less
see.
than 10% of patients that can benefit from a clinical trial actually do enroll in one, and that's because the patients are not a uniform group. They differ widely in terms of disease type, age, socioeconomic background, patient needs. And there are a few barriers to them enrolling into clinical trial. One is they may not be aware that there is one clinical trial that can fit their need. There's also, and to be honest, an issue of understanding, for them not to understand what it entails, what it means, what kind of risk, what kind of benefits it could generate to them. But also, they might also not trust the process. And a big piece of this is due to the patient-facing material being too generic and too technical, too scientific. So it doesn't really speak to the patients in the language that they understand. It doesn't really engage them well enough, and it doesn't drive them to an action, which is to reach out to their physician and inquire and enroll into a clinical trial. Unfortunately.
But it's quite understandable that when you don't know what's going to happen, basically you're a little scared. So how AI is helping in that?
Right. So AI, and more particularly generative AI, is a great opportunity in this space, and it's deeply transforming patient engagement because it allows us to identify very granular patient segments, including underrepresented communities, patients with special needs, patients who have different backgrounds, and then to generate content that will speak directly to them in a language they understand, that will explain clearly what every aspect of the clinical trial is, and also help engage them and guide them into the enrollment step. So it's helping optimize the study design, but also make protocols more accessible and more inclusive as well.
Let's illustrate these insights through a video.
Muse is a groundbreaking Gen AI product developed as a first use case in the tripartite partnership with Formation Bio and OpenAI. This product is set to transform the way we define patient outreach strategies and disrupt the current manual and lengthy process. The product leverages the power of generative AI to accelerate patient recruitment and ensure diversity and inclusion in our clinical trials. Muse brings user-friendly and impactful features. Once your study project is created, the AI-powered insights help you get a clear overview of your project, including patient demographics, geography, and socioeconomic impact. Muse also provides valuable features such as source citation and opportunities for additional research to enhance your understanding of the disease and patient needs. Our patient research and recruitment strategy module generates multidimensional patient segments and recommends omni-channel recruitment approaches and campaigns tailored for each subpopulation. This ensures that your message reaches the right patients through the most effective channels. The platform identifies underrepresented patient populations and proposes targeted outreach approaches to ensure a holistic and inclusive recruitment strategy. Our patient-facing material generation module creates multimodal recruitment content. Muse generates a variety of content formats, including digital ads, flyers, brochures, and pre-screening questionnaires, adapted to the specific needs and preferences of each patient segment. This ensures that your message resonates with each patient segment and differentiates your study from the competition. The platform also provides tools for language translation and IRB compliance to ensure that your content is accurate, appropriate, and compliant.
Yeah, thank you. So as you've seen in the beginning of the video, this was a collaboration between Sanofi, Formation Bio, and OpenAI. And as it happens, we have Formation Bio on the stands, and we have Matt here. So if you want to learn more, please visit the Formation Bio stand as well. I think it'll be interesting.
It's always good to be with people. It's a teamwork, actually.
Absolutely,
So
yes, of course.
So once the study is done, you have obviously to submit the results to the regulatory agency. So how can AI again help in that?
So AI is quite disruptive in that space, and Gen AI more particularly, because At the end of the study, we have something we call a clinical study report, which is a culmination of years of scientific research and rigorous experimentation. And this document is extremely significantly complex and requires months of expert time and manual reviews. So where GenAI can help here is by auto-completing some of the responses, by formatting some of the complex data, but it also helps improve the quality and accelerate response time between Sanofi and the health authorities in general, and that's extremely important to help us accelerate the development cycle time.
Obviously, another question pops up into my mind, Thomas. We're talking a lot about these fantastic technologies AI is helping. What's the danger for us as human being replaced as a from AI?
I think this is a good question. So I mean, actually, we won't be replaced. There will always be the human in the loop. I think that was what Sven Jäger also was saying. So we know that AI is a powerful tool. I mean, for me, it feels like it really provides superpower. I mean, in the private life, I mean, Google Maps brought me here this morning. I wouldn't have known where to go. I don't have a street map or anything. So, and I mean, look at ChatGPT. I mean, you can ask anything, and I think 90% of the answers you get are right. So even in the private field, it's really a superpower. But I mean, we also at Sanofi, I think we are using AI more as an additional team member. So we still need human expertise, scientists, clinicians, regulatory professionals with their judgment and with their expertise. However, I mean, I would like to quote one famous researcher. I mean, he's calling us drug hunters. I mean, okay, you can argue, is that a good name or not? But he said, I think already a few years ago, that AI won't replace the drug hunters, but drug hunters that don't use AI will be replaced from those that use AI. And I think that's very, very valuable and very right.
Before we switch on to your questions, dear audience, one last one. We talked about the fact that AI won't replace human beings, obviously the experts, but the other question that comes to my mind as well is the way you're using AI. Is it responsible?
Of course. So like any technology, AI is extremely powerful. It holds lots of promise, but also needs to be used responsibly. And at Sanofi, we've developed a framework called RAISE, Responsible AI at Sanofi, to make sure that responsible AI is not an afterthought. It's actually a foundational component of every AI use case that goes into rigorous evaluation against ethical standards, where we make sure that the AI modules are transparent, they have fairness, they respect privacy, but also they have scientific integrity. And that's very important, especially in healthcare, because AI in healthcare cannot be really successful until the scientists, our partners, the patients, the providers, trust the digital products that we deliver and know that they are delivered in a transparent way and that in a way that respects their privacy, their specificities, and that has their best interest at heart.
Well, congratulations. Thank you very much to both of you. Great applause.
Thank you.
So do we have any questions in the audience? Any questions? Yeah, please. Bring the mic very close.
Is this audible? Yeah, okay. Great session. Thank you very much. My question to you was, what are some of the things that is stopping, I mean, whatever AI you have, what are some of the things that you still need to rely on the classical clinical practices?
Yeah, I mean, I can speak more to the application of the digital patient twin. So I think obviously to build a patient twin that is meaningful and can be used really to predict the efficacy of novel drug assets in these virtual patients, you need a lot of data for training these patients. And the data, I mean, can come from clinical trials, but you can imagine that to be also, well, I mean, predicting or how you say, for novel drugs, you need really deep profiling of the patients. And there are novel technologies like single-cell NGS that are now also consistently applied in our clinical trials so that we have the data really to build patients, digital patients at that level. So I think it's connected to the data, garbage in, garbage out. So I think that's the hurdle, that's the challenge, that's the pacemaker.
Yeah, maybe one quick element I could add to that is that there's also the whole ecosystem movement, because, for example, health authorities are also following the movement to accept more the digital patient twin simulations, the in silico trials, the AI-driven insights. So it's progressing quite well. We're seeing a big change, but it's also something that can evolve also in the future. And I think responsible AI can also contribute to that if it's adopted widely to make sure that it's more trusted in the scientific realm as well.
Thank you. Do we have another question? Yeah?
Thank you for the talk. So you are digitalizing extremely sensitive healthcare data. But what kind of concerns in the cybersecurity perspective that you have? Because you are also using AI to check the dosages and some what kind if some attacks to your AI model happens or some misleading happens? Like what kind of concerns do you have still?
Yeah, I can start. So a few things. So first element of answer is responsible AI. We have a big framework that from the start will make sure that you have your risk assessment, and based on your level of risk, you have a level of or a number of controls that you make sure that you have the right level of scrutiny, the right level of testing, the level of protection. But also I think the second and most important element is that the human is always in the loop, which means that anything that's proposed by the AI is proposed to a human expert that will easily detect if there is any false information, any discrepancies, any things that are a bit out of context. So it's really augmenting the human. It's not replacing the scientific rigor.
Thank you.
Any other questions? We can take one more. Well, you're staying with us anyway for a couple of minutes if you want to one-to-one question. Thank you very much. A big applause
Thank
to
you, Christina.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
And thank you, dear audience. You have plenty of innovations to discover. A fantastic racing car from McLaren actually running tomorrow at 24 Heures du Mans. So please join us, and a great loads of things to do, to visit. Honorable, thank you very much, and see you in about 15 minutes for our last talk of the day. Thank you.